Hey Steelers fans, get ready because this Sunday night is shaping up to be one of those high-stakes, edge-of-your-seat matchups that only late-season football can deliver. The Pittsburgh Steelers are set to face off against the Cleveland Browns at 8:15 p.m. at Acrisure Stadium. And while the forecast predicts temperatures barely cracking 30 degrees with a low dipping down to 21, the chill in the air won't be the only thing you'll notice. The real intensity is going to come from the energy in the stadium, the tension in the stands, and the pressure mounting on both teams as they fight for positioning in the final stretch of the season. The field is set, the lights are bright, and every single play is going to carry the weight of a playoff atmosphere, even though the regular season isn't technically over yet. When head coach Mike Tomlin stepped up at his weekly press briefing on the South Side, he was asked the inevitable question about home field advantage in a game like this, and his response was measured but revealing. He talked about how the ability to adjust plays at the line, communicate effectively, and stay disciplined offensively becomes far more difficult under pressure, and how starting fast in challenging conditions is essential. He pointed to past games, like the matchup in Baltimore a few weeks ago, to illustrate that early success can set the tone, neutralizing some of the obstacles that come with hostile environments. But he was also careful to underline that the game in front of them is unique. The Steelers' job this week is different. His remarks weren't about rallying the crowd or stoking hype. They were grounded in reality, a reminder that the team has to earn its success on the field, not rely on external support. And that crowd? Oh, the crowd is a story all its own. Anyone who's followed the Steelers closely knows that Pittsburgh fans are passionate, loyal, but also unafraid to show their frustration. After the recent loss to Cleveland, the mood among fans shifted sharply. It wasn't just disappointment. It was the sting of shattered expectations. Fans who had dared to hope after the Detroit game saw everything crumble in Cleveland, and that sense of letdown lingered, casting a shadow over the locker room and the stand alike. That tension is going to be palpable this Sunday, and it's the kind of environment that tests not just the players, but the coaches as well. Tomlin acknowledged the pressure without trying to spin it into a motivational soundbite. He understands the stakes, and he knows the team has to deliver under these conditions to maintain credibility and control the narrative themselves. Inside the locker room, the impact of that Cleveland loss is still evident. The players weren't just upset, they were frustrated, and the frustration was layered. Some of it stems from self-reflection. What could I have done differently? How could I have performed better? But a significant part comes from how the team has been managed and utilized throughout the season. There's a pervasive sense among the roster that their potential hasn't been fully realized because of decisions made off the field, whether it's play calling, personnel deployment, or missed opportunities to capitalize on their strengths. This isn't a situation where players are publicly complaining or looking for cameras. It's a quiet, simmering dissatisfaction that permeates positional groups and travels in whispers through the locker room. Every conversation hints at what might have been if only certain adjustments had been made, if only plays were called differently, if only the team was being used in the ways that maximize their abilities. Yet, despite the frustration, the confidence in themselves hasn't vanished. The Steelers players still believe in their own abilities. What they question is the coaching decisions that have, in their eyes, prevented the team from achieving more. That distinction is crucial because it means the talent is still there, the potential is still palpable, and the energy for a bounce-back performance is available. But it has to be channeled correctly. If the coaching staff can make smart adjustments, utilize the team's best players in situations that highlight their strengths, and make decisive choices in high-pressure moments, the locker room mood can shift dramatically. The players have the ability to regain momentum, to restore the vibe that made the Detroit game so promising, and to rebuild confidence in the process. As fans file into Acrisure Stadium this Sunday night, there will be plenty of anticipation, tension, and yes, a touch of skepticism. The recent history with the Browns, the roller coaster of emotions from previous weeks, and the stakes attached to the division standings all contribute to an atmosphere that will feel almost playoff-like, even before the postseason officially begins. Every play, every drive, and every decision will be scrutinized, not just by commentators or analysts, but by the die-hard fans in the stands who know the history, the highs, and the lows of Steelers football. The team knows it, too, and the players are acutely aware that the margin for error is razor-thin. A slow start could ignite the crowd's frustration, while a fast, disciplined opening drive could set a tone that quiets doubt and builds momentum. The stakes couldn't be higher. Securing a win would not only push the Steelers closer to clinching the AFC North for the first time in several years, it could also ensure home field advantage for the playoffs, providing a critical edge in what promises to be a fiercely contested postseason. But beyond the strategic implications, this game carries emotional weight. Fans who allowed themselves to dream big after Detroit now crave redemption, a reason to believe again. The players, aware of the collective hopes and doubts, must balance performance with poise, channeling their own frustrations and ambitions into execution on the field. Every snap, every yard gained or lost, every defensive stand, and every scoring opportunity will contribute to the story of this night. A story where preparation, talent, and composure intersect with the intensity of a live, passionate crowd. Even in the stands, the dynamic is already building. Steelers supporters have long memories, and the response to adversity is part of the culture. A team that can execute under pressure, overcome mistakes, and deliver in moments that test their character earns a loyalty that's unwavering. But the flip side is equally potent. A team that falters against expectations will face a chorus of impatience, critique, and vocal judgment. Tomlin knows this, understands the environment, and emphasizes that the responsibility falls squarely on the team to shape the narrative. The players' reactions, composure, and performance will determine whether this crowd becomes a driving force or a reflection of frustration. And then there's the psychological element, the unseen battle that runs alongside the physical one. Players are thinking not just about executing plays, but about regaining a sense of control and confidence after the collapse in Cleveland. They are aware that public perception, locker room morale, and game day momentum are intertwined. A strong start, a decisive first drive, and a defense that imposes itself early can shift the energy in the stadium, converting doubt into belief. Conversely, slow starts, miscommunication, or missed opportunities could feed into the collective frustration, intensifying pressure on the team to respond immediately. As kickoff approaches, everything converges: the cold air, the bright lights, the tens of thousands of fans, and the mounting expectations. Steelers versus Browns is more than a game. It is a test of resilience, adaptability, and mental toughness. Each player knows that mistakes are magnified, that execution matters, and that the path to victory requires focus, discipline, and the ability to rise above the shadows of past setbacks. The season's trajectory, the division title, and the momentum heading into the playoffs all hinge on the outcome, and every single member of the team is acutely aware that they must rise to the occasion. As the Steelers step onto the field this Sunday night, the sense of urgency is undeniable. The players have been carrying the weight of expectations for weeks, but now the stakes feel heavier than ever. The Browns aren't just an opponent. They're the team that shattered hopes in Cleveland, the squad that reminded the Steelers and their fans how quickly momentum can shift in football. Every player knows that the crowd will be watching, analyzing, and reacting to every misstep, and that knowledge adds an extra layer of pressure. Yet, it's precisely in these moments that champions are forged, in the crucible of tension, anticipation, and high expectations. The team has to translate frustration into focus, emotion into execution, and talent into tangible results. Inside the locker room, the atmosphere has been a mixture of reflection, determination, and quiet intensity. After the Cleveland loss, players weren't just upset, they were motivated. Some admitted to feeling personally responsible, acknowledging plays they could have executed differently or opportunities they could have seized. Others were frustrated by the structure of the game plan or the utilization of personnel. There's a collective awareness that the potential is there, but unlocking it requires discipline, cohesion, and smart decision-making on the field. Every positional group knows that their performance will set the tone for the rest of the team and that the margin for error is minimal. Mistakes could not only cost the game, but reignite fan frustration, while precision and adaptability could energize the stadium and create momentum that carries well beyond Sunday night. Coach Tomlin's approach has been steady and focused, emphasizing preparation over hype and execution over emotion. His message is clear. The team's success is in their own hands. The players respect that reality, and while they may feel the pressure, they also understand that rising to the occasion is part of their identity as Steelers. Early drives will be critical. Gaining yardage, converting third downs, and establishing control in the first series can set a tone that quiets doubt and builds confidence. Conversely, any slow start or miscommunication could feed the crowd's impatience, magnifying pressure and creating a challenging environment. The balance between composure and intensity will define the team's ability to navigate this high-stakes contest. Looking at the season as a whole, the journey to this point has been filled with highs and lows. The Steelers began the year with promise, displaying flashes of brilliance and resilience in the early games. But setbacks, particularly the loss to Cleveland, have tested the team's mental fortitude and adaptability. The locker room has felt the weight of those losses, not in terms of personal confidence, which remains intact, but in terms of trust in the system and the execution of coaching decisions. Players have expressed, albeit quietly, a sense that opportunities were missed, strategies could have been more effectively employed, and their potential has yet to be fully realized. This underlying tension adds a layer of complexity to Sunday night's game, as the team must navigate not only the opponent, but also the psychological landscape that has developed over the course of the season. The crowd will play a significant role in the narrative. Pittsburgh fans are among the most passionate in the league, and their reactions can influence momentum in real time. When the Steelers perform with discipline, efficiency, and intensity, the stadium can become an amplifier for success, boosting morale and creating energy that propels the team forward. However, any missteps, especially early on, could reignite frustration and skepticism, creating a pressure cooker that tests the team's mental toughness. The duality of the home crowd is clear. They could be a source of immense support or a reflection of the tension and disappointment that lingers from previous setbacks. Understanding and navigating that dynamic is a critical aspect of this game, and one that the Steelers are acutely aware of. The matchup itself is a chess game of strategy, adjustments, and individual battles. The Steelers' offense will need to capitalize on mismatches, exploit defensive weaknesses, and maintain precision in the passing and running game. Every drive, every snap, and every decision matters. Quarterbacks must read the defense quickly, make accurate throws, and adjust on the fly. Running backs need to find seams, protect the ball, and sustain drives. Wide receivers must create separation, secure catches, and maintain focus under pressure. The offensive line has to dominate at the line of scrimmage, protect the quarterback, and establish lanes for the running game. Each component is interdependent, and success relies on coordination, communication, and execution under pressure. Defensively, the Steelers face a Browns team motivated to assert themselves and rebound from recent struggles. Containing the passing game, controlling the line of scrimmage, and forcing turnovers will be critical. Defensive backs must maintain discipline, communicate effectively, and prevent explosive plays. Linebackers are tasked with both coverage responsibilities and run support, requiring agility, anticipation, and physicality. The defensive line must disrupt timing, pressure the quarterback, and create opportunities for the secondary to capitalize. Coordination between units, situational awareness, and consistent execution are essential, as any breakdown could swing momentum and energize the crowd. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill, whispers are swirling that Baker Mayfield is on the verge of signing a 3-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The potential acquisition has left fans and analysts alike speculating about the quarterback room in Pittsburgh, a franchise that has been searching for stability under center since the departure of Ben Roethlisberger. Mayfield, known for his fiery competitiveness and moments of brilliance in Cleveland, has had a roller coaster career marked by flashes of high-level play and frustrating inconsistency. The suggestion that he could land in Pittsburgh raises a host of intriguing possibilities. Could the Steelers finally find the spark they've been seeking to rejuvenate an offense that has struggled to consistently move the chains? Or would this be another short-lived experiment in a city desperate for quarterback reliability? Insiders suggest that the Steelers' front office sees Mayfield as a player who can both energize the fan base and challenge the team's current offensive structure. The proposed 3-year contract signals more than just a short-term fill-in. It hints at a possible long-term project, a gamble that Pittsburgh has historically taken with quarterbacks who arrive with a chip on their shoulder. Mayfield's style, characterized by quick decision-making and a fearless approach to challenging defenses, could mesh with Pittsburgh's evolving offensive schemes, particularly if the coaching staff can harness his potential and limit the turnovers that have plagued him in the past. Of course, the move is not without controversy. Critics point to Mayfield's inconsistent performances over the years and question whether the Steelers' storied franchise, with its demanding fan base, can be patient enough to ride out the highs and lows. The locker room dynamic will also be under scrutiny. Veteran players and fans alike will be watching to see if Mayfield can seamlessly integrate into a team with a proud tradition of grit and resilience. While nothing is officially confirmed, the mere rumor of Mayfield heading to Pittsburgh has already ignited social media debates, mock drafts, and countless what-if scenarios. From fantasy football managers to casual observers, everyone is imagining how the Steelers' offense might look with Mayfield at the helm. Could this be the beginning of a surprising resurgence, or will it become another chapter in a long list of quarterback experiments for the team? As speculation continues to swirl, one thing is certain. If the deal comes to fruition, Pittsburgh will be thrust into the national spotlight once again, this time with Baker Mayfield's name at the center of the conversation. For a franchise eager to reclaim its competitive edge, the potential signing represents both hope and uncertainty, a calculated risk that could define the team's trajectory for years to come. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.